Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and guys, thank you so much for just supporting this channel, coming to watch. Really appreciate it. Now, for today's video, if you guys remember earlier this week, I think Unikeys were sending me out a few switches. This is the Gateron Sage switch, and I'm really interested to see what this one's like. Of course, Gateron does make a lot of nice switches, and they do a lot just like HMX does. So we're gonna have to go straight into taking a look at the sound profile, see what it is like, and take a look more in depth to see what the switch is like, how good is it, and what kind of sound does it make. So let's go straight into that, and please make sure to like and subscribe. So this time around, what I wanted to really do was also take into consideration some of the comments from previous videos, and I've created a reference for you guys where I'm going to use the blue cheese, the Thocky switch I have, and compare it with this new one. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Now, we did the whole sound test of the Gateron Sage switches. They sound different between different boards. I'm getting a clack in some boards, and I'm getting a thock in other boards. Am I getting a deep thock? No, it's not really a deep thock. I would say if you're looking at the thocky side, it's more of like a higher pitch, higher, yeah, pitched thock, right? It's still like a thock, but a higher pitched thock. And then on some boards, it's just like a deeper clack. That's kind of the profile that I'm getting on the different boards. Of course, it's going to be different depending on what kind of board you have. And of course, I did it in many different boards, hoping that it would help a lot. That's why I even put like that super budget board, the Tester 68, right? Which is like a $20 board that I added foam to make it sound better. Now, in terms of the typing profile, I think it was actually pretty good. It felt really smooth. I didn't feel any like roughness or scratchiness to it. The only thing though is that I felt that they were a little bit big. The Gateron switch was in terms of like fitting it into some of my plates, it felt a little bit big. So just keep in mind that if you do have a board that has like a little bit of a smaller opening for switches, this is going to be a little bit harder to push in. You have to really be careful with it, because if you have a tight plate, it is a little bit hard to push in. Like I had that with my Zoom, where the plate is quite tight, and like some of the small switches, like for example, Akku switches are usually a little bit on the smaller side, fits really nicely, but then the Gateron felt really hard to kind of push in. So keep in mind that for yourselves. And of course, we're gonna have to open up the switch, take a little bit more look inside, and of course see what the backlighting is like. So let's go right into that. So going straight into taking a little bit more in depth, I want to give you guys again on screen the information on the switch, right? So Gateron Sage has the milky nylon top, the modified nylon bottom, and the stem, and 18 millimeter spring. So we're gonna take a look at the switch a little bit more and see, all that we can get from what I can do in terms of measurements and such. Now, I do want to show you guys first of all, each individual part. So we have that top housing, we have the stem, we have the spring, and we have the bottom housing. And as you can see here, the top housing does give you a huge reminder of like the milky switches, like the milky yellow pros and such. And then we have the bottom housing as well. Now, this is a 5-pin switch, so if you do have a keyboard that's 3-pin, it will not work. Now, let me give you guys a look at the stock switch, like the stock stem, in terms of the looping itself, right? So there's 2 versions you can get on Unikey's website, which is the hand looped version and then the stock version. Now, the stock version, as you can see here, let me just get you guys a little bit closer look, it has no lube on it at all. Like, I thought it was going to be slightly factory lubed, but no. This thing has no lube at all, meaning when you buy this switch, you really should lube it. Like when I was doing the testings and all the typing feels, the stock switch didn't sound great. It felt very scratchy. It didn't feel good at all in terms of like typing on it. And this is the reason why. It doesn't have any lube at all, so you're going to have to hand lube these. Once you do hand lube it though, as you guys could hear the sound differences, it does feel a lot better. It feels much smoother. It actually is a switch that is really nice to type on, and it feels really light, even though it is like a 50 gram or 55 gram switch. It actually feels incredibly light to type on. And as you can see here for the spring, we are getting 18 millimeters. Of course, when you're like measuring it by hand like this, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but we are getting the 18 millimeters. It's a single stage spring, and it isn't a long spring. It's actually, I would say, in the middle. But one thing I want to go and take a look at next is going to be the actual stem wobbling. Now, this is with the keycap on. So with the keycaps on, you can actually see how it does have the stem wobble. You can see how it's moving around in circles, and when you press it down, this is something that for people that are sensitive to stem wobble will be able to definitely tell. But as you can see here, even without like the keycap on the top end of the switch, you can see there is movement. So there is rattling even on the top end of the switch. And then of course, like once you press it down, I'm gonna have to give you guys a little bit more like of a show of it, of course, but you also get that stem wobble. The switch isn't perfect for like almost no stem wobble. You will get some if you are sensitive to it. Definitely you will feel a lot more if you're someone who doesn't. The best way I can say it is if you're someone just typing very fast, you will not notice it. But if you're someone who is playing video games and you actually have to press down a key for a while, you will feel it. So those are the 2 ways you can kind of tell if you are someone that's going to be troubled by the stem wobble or not. If you're just using for pure typing, chances are you won't really feel it. Now, this is a backlighting test, and as you can see here, the lighting is quite bright, though it's not super, super bright. Like these switches don't have a light diffuser and only has that slit in the bottom. if you have just a slit, it sometimes certain switches can be bright, but as you can see with these switches, it's not really super incredibly bright, but you are getting a decent brightness. Going through different lighting styles because I'm just trying to test out and show like what you're going to be getting with these switches. And in terms of like the color accuracy, I don't find that these switches actually do have a ton of like color disfiguration from like the switch itself. Like the lighting is still pretty accurate. I don't think the switch itself is actually affecting the lighting too much. There are certain switches out there where you will actually have that, where the switch itself will affect the lighting very, very heavily. This one, I didn't have it too much. I felt like maybe slightly, like only a very little amount, but not to the point where it's going to be like you get a switch, you do a white lighting, and the white lighting becomes like a full purple. Definitely, this is something to keep in mind for yourself. So if you are someone who does enjoy backlighting, this isn't going to be incredibly bright. You will see it. It is still visible. The lighting is still bright enough for some. But if you're someone who likes it incredibly bright, this is definitely not going to be one of those switches for sure. Now, one of the things I would say is you should go check out Unikey's website in general. They have so many switches available. This switch is really decent if you like a higher pitched thock or a slightly deeper clack. I would really place this in like the middle area. It's not a full clack unless you don't lube it. If you don't lube the switches, it is a pure clack. Once you do lube it though, it does really reduce the sound quite a bit in terms of like the how deep it is. The switches itself, it kind of reminds you really of like the Milky Pro series, and you know, go check out the switch. I'll have the link in the description for you guys, and of course Unikey has so many different switches out there, so check it out. So I hope this video helped you guys in terms of seeing if Gateron Sages were something you should grab, and I'll have the links in the description. Unikey's has, you know, the Gateron Sage and so many other switches out there, so go take a look at their website, and of course go check out the other videos I got, and I'll have to catch you guys next time.